I think we're live.
We're live. So welcome to the Node.js Next 10 meeting for April 16th, 2025. We'll follow our standard approach of going through what was in the agenda, although we had a brief discussion ahead of time. We'll probably spend most of the time looking at feedback on the survey. So just in terms of any announcements that people would like to share before we dive into the issues? Okay, no announcements then. So let's move to the survey, which is number 330. And I think, Marco, you have uh, lots of good feedback from the Collaborator Summit on the survey, so I'll let you take it from here.
Yeah, so I pasted in the chat the easy retro, the board. I don't know if you have, I will link it again. So we have a board with all the like feedback we received at the Collab Summit. So let me share my screen. Maybe we can start from there. Okay. Sure, yes. Okay. Can you all see the the board? Okay. So the most voted item is there is this ambiguity between big tech company and startup. So let's see, let me grab the pull request. So if that's okay, I will add the comment here, and we discuss the item on the agenda and we make the change in the PR. So okay. So yeah, this is on the org question: big tech company startup ambiguous. What defines big tech versus company? Also add unemployed and change no profit to not for profit. So no profit, I think this is an easy change. Do we agree with changing this to not
Sure.
for
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that might have been my comment, actually.
Okay. Not for profit.
Wait, no, please use the start review thing, because otherwise we'll get like a bajillion notifications.
Okay, add to the batch. Okay, then we have big tech company startup ambiguous. So maybe there is a better naming for this, because right now we have big tech company, like big tech is a company. So maybe we can just
like if we wanted, I don't know if we care about like company size, we could say like, company up to 1,000 employees, company with greater than 1,000 employees. I'm not sure what useful data there. Like startup is kind of interesting because it's like a different class of company.
So how do we wanna probably we can collapse big tech into company, or we can do with sides like startup like 0 to I don't know 100 employees. And we can do like company 0 to 1,000 and like corporate. I don't know.
I would just say like
company is.
I would say I'd keep it at startup and then big tech, and then just change company to other company. And then it isn't the follow-up question after that. It branches off to ask what specific like realm the other company is.
So we remove big tech.
What do we want to know? Like in terms of organization, they said, what kind of organization do you work at? What what information about the organization is important. So like we have some preconceived notions about a startup. We have some preconceived notions about big tech, like Bang or something. But then if it's just other company, is that just basically like we don't care?
I guess it's like, do we, because you said does the next question go into like whether it's financial and those kinds of things?
Yeah, the next
Okay.
question goes into that.
Yeah, if
Right, so
working for a company, which sector does it operate?
So does that
So
question only come up if the previous question, if they select like other company, if they select big tech, does that skip the follow-up question?
Yeah, I think we should also remove startup and also leave company. So like if you work not like whatever, it's not academia, government, or not for profit, or you are
Okay.
unemployed or individual, that everything else is a company. So it includes whatever.
the only thing is, it'd be interesting if like 99% of the people were from startups versus non-startup.
Okay, so we want to know the size of the company. So that's like if we should either add another question: if you work for a company, what is the size of the company?
Yeah, I think that's the most direct way of getting at it. Just adding a separate question about that.
Yeah. Yeah, and startup doesn't necessarily imply size, right? Because you can easily have like a 10-person company that's not a startup, right? Like it's been running forever. They're never going to grow or whatever. The question is, I know we're always trying to limit questions too, right? So is it better to just add a few things in here that like, company less than 100, company greater than or less than 1,000, greater than 1,000, or whatever the line is?
If we want to know that, we should add probably a question here. If working for a company, what is the size of your company? And we can like
Sure,
do it.
that's yeah.
Okay, so I will if working in a company, what is the number of employees?
Well, does
Actually,
it need to be limited to a
yeah.
company? Couldn't it be an organization? So like if they work for, I don't know, a very small school, we care about the size of that too.
Yeah, it could
Okay,
be like
so
a
what
really
is the
big
number
university,
of
just a small one.
employees / members
Hmm.
of your organization? Of the organization you work for or you work in. Sounds good.
Your organization you're part of?
Yeah, part of it. That's what I was thinking too, because
You
just instead of work,
are
you part of, yeah.
Yeah.
okay. Then we wanna I don't know if this is space or what is it? It's a space. Okay. Then we add a bunch of numbers. Oh, this is a single choice. Okay, we go to 0 to
I would say 0
100.
to 10,
Okay.
10 to 100. Since we're gonna have a question, we might as well have, few options, 10 to 100, and then like,
I was looking at a census survey,
yeah,
like how
okay.
they determine the cutoffs. Let me see if I can bring that up again while we're on the call.
I think like 500 is probably good enough.
Yeah, I was even gonna say 1,000, just keep it like, and then 1,000 to 100 to 10,000, 10,000 to 100,000, or bigger, right?
Okay, let's do 1,000.
Oh, yeah, sorry, just I meant to add that a bit more before I
Yeah.
pasted it in the chat. Yeah, I just found cutoffs that the census uses.
Can you read them?
Yeah, just 10 to 99 is small, 100 to 499 is medium, and then above 500 is large.
Okay, so we should do like to 500 and more like 500
There's a big difference
plus.
between 500 though and 25,000.
I think we should have something, another category above 500.
So it should be like this: 0 to 9, 10 to 99, 100 to 4, like this.
And then maybe one after, like, don't have 500 plus be the final one. Have it be like 500 to, I don't know, some thousand, and then whatever we consider a massive number.
To 1,000. And then we have 1,000 to 1,000 plus.
1,000, yeah, 1,000 plus.
Okay. Okay. I mean,
I think, wait,
we
where it says 500, that's 10,000. Delete a 9.
yeah. Okay. I mean, we can always like work on the PR and refine this kind of stuff if we have consent. So, but I think we all agree to add this question.
Yep.
So, that is good. Okay. Okay. Change unemployed.
I think you need, did you go back and delete some of the things earlier? Because like, I think we needed to remove, like, not there, I meant in the PR. You actually have one that says like, let's remove, okay, so we just left you do, so you've got one that said removes everything, just leaves company, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good, okay.
Yeah, I will leave them as comment, and we need to add unemployed here. How do you write unemployed? Unemployed, okay.
I think we need one, yeah, one more space.
Okay. Okay, so we addressed this one. We can we hide it somehow? No.
Maybe right click on it? No.
No. No, keep it. Okay, maybe we can
Yeah. We can just remember which ones we did.
Okay. Let's add another question. So let's add other answer to question 15 or 16. Question 15 or 16. Which one is that?
Do you have your slides?
Yeah, let me grab my slides. They are on another. Okay. Number 15, what of the current technical priorities are important to you? What? Yeah. Technical. Okay. This one, we should add other.
Right,
Here.
yeah.
Other.
Or none, like, if that's an exhaustive list of the ones we have.
Yeah, that could be good to know. People don't care about any of them.
I think that's maybe the comment was like, you basically said you got to choose something, but what if maybe none of them? Because I like, that's a list that comes directly from a document we have in the repo.
Yeah,
I think we customized it a little bit, because we added stuff like TypeScript support, native add-ons, performance, things that are not in the list specifically.
I had a broader comment about these items. It's just when we ask them to just select which ones they use, there's not that much granularity there. Is it possible to reframe it just maybe as two separate questions? Just list all the features, like either experimental or finished, and just ask them to maybe select the one that they like enjoyed or had the most success using, and then another one that they find to be either like the most challenging or the most buggy or something. Because
So we could do something like that, but this, like when we added this, it was to say like we've documented a set of technical priorities. Do they still match what people think is important, right? So like, it's got the link right there, the technical priorities. So like, I'm not sure we should be like adding extra things that aren't in that list.
Okay, so we should remove the technical. I mean, people don't know that technical priorities match to a document that it's on the repo. So they, like, if you present them priorities, like they will just, like if there is no order, they will choose one of those.
Right. So I guess it's like we could change the question to have a different goal, but I think the goal on this one was like, hey, we've documented these as priorities. If people tell us these are not important, then we should probably change those priorities, right?
Yeah, but they cannot tell these are not important because they can only pick one of them.
Right.
Well,
That's
that's
why I
why we
was
should have the none.
suggesting none. Like none would cover that. They could basically say none of these.
Okay.
Yeah, we should also have an other. I think we should have other and none.
Okay. So, but we need to check again what are the technical priorities to make sure they match one-to-one with these ones, basically.
I think so because like
I don't think native add-ons is a technical priority. Let's see.
Let me see, native.
There we go.
Yeah, I don't see that in the list right now, right? So
yeah. So we have modern HTTP, suitable types, documentation, WebAssembly, ESM, support for features, latest action, blah, 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 observability. There is no observability. No, oh, yeah, observability, better multi-threaded support, single executable application, serverless. So we have, wait, what? Small foot. Okay, so we have serverless. Wait, can I change this?
I mean, we should probably add TypeScript to the technical priorities.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm not saying so like that's something we could say, like, let's leave TypeScript support in, but let's add that, if we agree that that's a technical priority, which I think many people would, we should add it into the list so that like when people come to it, they're like, yeah, okay, the project thinks this is important and something they're working on, right?
Okay. Well, but we need to add that. We definitely need to. So native add-ons, we can remove it and add serverless. We have small footprint. We have developer first DX and package management. Okay. And then we need to drop performance. Apparently it's not a priority. And we need to remove TypeScript support.
I thought we do want it.
Oh, yeah, but then we need to send a PR to the technical priorities and add it as one.
Yeah, but I think that's what we're thinking we should do.
Okay, so let me.
Because right now it's like an unofficial top priority.
Let me reminder. Add this to that. TypeScript. Okay. Okay. Okay, so this.
Wait, we also wanted to add none and possibly other.
Yes. So okay. we change, so other,
Mhm.
none.
Yeah, I'm wondering, I guess comes back to how many questions, like we could have a questions, which is like, are there any things missing from the technical priorities, right? Like, in your
Well,
opinion?
that's what other would be. Because like other would be a free response, right?
And then we can drop this one. What is important to you that is not, oh, where is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can drop this one because we added other, so people
well, okay.
can add.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that as obvious?
I
And
think
also, yeah,
so.
it's also an open question, so we want to remove open questions as much
But
as
other will be
possible.
open as well, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
but it seems harder to me, right? Now we have something that has a bunch of non-open answers and an open answer. I think that might be why we had a separate one, which is like, okay, let's have the open answer separately.
so the feedback was to remove those open questions and just add other to the question. So like this was,
In terms of analyzing the data, does that, like,
it's the same.
it's the same?
Zach?
Okay, as long as it's not going to make it harder to extract the data that,
Nope, it's the same.
okay.
And the same thing, like this one has too many options.
Holy crap.
This one's too
Those
big.
again are like should be an exact match to the needs of our constituents.
I don't know where we got this list from.
It's here. I can find it. It's in the, like, we went through and said, like, well, what are all the things that are important to the different constituencies in, so let me find that. So here's this document, right? And we have a mapping to how we think different people, different constituencies are interested in those different things. So again, it's like the goal, I think, when we added the question the first time was like, let's validate. We went through this whole process of saying, like, who are our constituencies and what do they need? And like this
Okay.
question is a bit of a validation. Like, if we find that nobody says any of these things are important, then we should go back and say, well, okay, our survey said that no, actually, predictable and stable releases, nobody said that was interesting. So actually we got that wrong in the,
Okay, let's add other and delete the following question. So we have like two question less, and if people want to.
sure.
Okay. Then we have so this one we fix this. We can just merge them probably. Would you like to see questions about other runtimes devs may be using? Blah blah blah. I don't think we should ask about other runtimes personally.
I'm more like it's good to ask, like, are there features that you think are missing? But we don't need to say that you see in other runtimes necessarily.
Yeah, this seems more interesting than useful.
Do we already have, like, in terms of the questions, I think we're probably already trying, like, in terms of the, I don't know actually if we have a question that says, like, are there specific features you feel are missing?
Let's see. No, but we could add an open question. Like what features would you like to see in Node.js?
Yeah, I think that would be an interesting one for sure.
Should we add it at the end?
Yeah, so let's see. We ask about calling experimental features. Yeah, I think like an open one at the end, which is like, you know, are there any
Uh,
are there any key features that you think Node should be added to Node.js?
Any key feature that you think should be. Open question. Okay. Looks good.
Yep.
Okay. So this one we can merge it. Should add cross runtime compatibility interoperability about technical priorities, as like this should be a technical priority. So like someone should volunteer to add this one if interested. So we can
Yeah, like,
probably
yeah, if somebody wants to propose the PR that in as a technical priority and champion getting people to
yeah.
agree.
List all OS Node.js supports. Where is it? Which operating system for local development or in production? Should we add like, I don't know, all the, I think there are a lot.
Yeah, I don't know that we like, does it really make sense to do all the Linux variants and then like adding AIX and SmartOS and I don't know.
Yeah.
I think what's
yeah.
here is already good, right? Like
Yeah, and we have the other field, so people
exactly,
can
yeah.
just. So, are you using the following new stable feature? But they say ESM, but ESM makes sense to add this question anyway. So I think well, it's not new, but we can keep it there. List in alphabetical order.
List options in alphabetical order. So like
Okay.
wherever we have options, list them
Oh yeah, that's a good
alphabetically.
idea. But that is more a general thing, but we should keep
Yeah.
it. How can I add like a random comment?
You can put it at the file level, top right. It's like a speech bubble.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's order options alphabetically. I didn't know you could do this anyway, by the way. Okay. Can we host some mentor session within calls? I'm not sure this is
Doesn't seem
relevant.
survey.
Yeah.
Multiple runtimes. This one we already talked about it. Invest in JavaScript related projects. Where is it? Invest. How does the organization invest in JavaScript related project? Oh, Node.js related project, I think. We can do.
Although I think, but some of the questions are already narrowing it down, right? So like basically we said JavaScript, I think up top, because then it says like one of your options is like, well, I invest in the Node.js project.
Hmm.
Or I invest in JavaScript projects other than Node.js and
Okay.
crowdfunding, sponsored packages in the ecosystem through membership.
I think they should invest in Node.js related projects or in Node.js.
What is a Node.js related project?
Stuff that runs on, like, I would say, how does the organization invest in Node.js? Question mark. That's it. By sponsoring your time to work on the Node.js project, like something related.
So like the second one, sponsors your time to work in JavaScript projects other than Node.js. So like say Express. Would that still fit in with it being invest in Node.js related projects at the top?
Yeah.
Okay, like as long as we can, the questions I think are the key thing for me, whether it says JavaScript or Node.js in the top line, I'm not as worried about.
So
Well,
I would change it to how does the organization invest in Node.js? By sponsoring your time to work on the Node.js project. Sponsor your time to work in Node.js related projects, open source like Node.js related projects. And we can add like I don't know, example. Sponsor JavaScript packages in the ecosystem. Or we can do like sponsor your time to work in JavaScript packages in the ecosystem.
well,
Huh?
there's two different things. Yeah. Okay.
This
Yeah.
is sponsor your time and sponsor
Mhm.
the packages directly.
Yeah. Okay.
I think this is
Here, can I
better.
see what they look like? So it's basically sponsor your time to work in JavaScript packages in the ecosystem. Sponsors your time in Node.js related projects.
Oh wait, I think I did a mistake.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Okay.
what about Node itself?
Yeah, I made a mistake. Sponsor your time to work. Sponsor your time to work in Node.js related projects. Sponsor your time in Node.js related or packages probably, or to work on JavaScript packages in the ecosystem. Okay. Okay, this is how it should be in my opinion. And there is that extra space.
We're missing one for 48. There's an option for them sponsoring the package directly, but not sponsoring time to work on the package. Or is that what's meant by line 46? New line
Sponsor,
46.
yeah, like sponsor you to work on like Express, for example.
Okay. Maybe to make it more clear that those two are related, remove ecosystem from line 48, where it says packages in the ecosystem.
Yeah.
Or, oh, sorry, it is on both of them.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Yeah, so this is good. This one we can skip it. What sector does the company operate? Why are we asking this? What are we learning from that? I think we learn, for example, if a lot of I don't know, like energy and materials industrial seems usually very corporate and old school ecosystem. So that means that I don't know.
I think
Yeah, usually
it's not,
go ahead.
I think it's not information that we could directly use, but I think it would be very interesting to know. Like for instance, like I think it's Java is like very heavily used by like the airline industry or something. That's good to know.
Also be interesting to maybe track change from the previous survey too, because these categories were on the 2024 survey too. See.
Yeah,
We
can track that.
If nobody's using it in financials and then the next year they are, that is an interesting.
Mm.
Okay. We have the next one, scripting and bot scraper automation are quite different use cases. Let's see. Script and automation. But there is CLI tools, so I think it's. I don't know. Should we
Yeah,
or
like,
should we split?
well, the examples um, don't, I think they're saying the examples don't match the option.
So we should be like web automations.
I would just move the bots and scrapers to a separate option.
But that's what automation is. It's like bots and scrapers.
Well, automation could be like, I don't know, renaming files. Like when you
Okay,
import a
so
file.
we can just call this, well, I don't know if we should call it bots and scrapers, but
Well, why don't we just say script and automation? Like if it's like that the examples were throwing people off.
like scripting automation.
Mhm.
Okay.
Sure.
But remove bots and scrapers.
But okay.
Those are examples, but it seems to suggest that like
We can leave
only
it as
those things.
example. Because we have CLI tools for CLI tools.
Yeah, CLI tools I think is a bit different. Like you actually
Yeah.
build like a command line.
A bot I could see, well, a bot could mean like a chat bot, or it could mean like dependabot. I think what was intended here is dependabot, but I
Yeah,
think people could
yeah,
and then like a scraper is like stealing content from a website.
yeah. Let's leave it without examples.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if
Okay.
there's related here. Maybe we'll get to it, but I thought like in the use cases one, we could definitely use to break things up a little bit too.
Let's see. Here we want to break up some questions.
Yeah, there was one where we had maybe it wasn't, maybe we already did break it up.
Yeah, we break it up with front end. What is
Yeah,
it?
because I remember before, like last year's one, there was basically a big thing
Yeah.
with like front end.
Application, front end, back end, full stack.
Okay, so maybe we already have, so never mind.
Yeah. Company types might want to include agricultural tech. Okay.
Oh
Here.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure.
Should we?
It's gonna be back in 1 minute.
Okay.
Let's do agri cultural tech. Let me check the spelling. Agri. Cool. Okay. Okay. Glob sync to question 20. I think I added glob. Yeah, glob. So this one we can skip. This one we have done. Experimental feature is missing symbol dispose and symbolizing dispose. This is coming to the language anyways. This is a polyfill. So I don't add Dino to package manager. Blah blah blah.
Are people
What?
using Dino just as a package manager?
I don't think so.
Okay.
We have other.
Yeah, we have other.
I don't think we saw a million people write it in, so I'm not.
No, I went through the other and I added all the options that were missing. I did this work. Max one of two open question. Yes. Require ESM is release candidate. No, release candidate is still experimental, so it's good to be there. And those were not upvoted, so we can go through them very quickly.
Okay.
X3286, ARM RV6 plus ARM V7.
I think we don't care about the differentiation or the delineation of the different kinds of arms. Does it matter for us?
Unless we were like in terms of being able to drop some of them.
Like, I suppose, but we can see downloads of it to judge that. Like, my Mac is ARM, but I don't know which ARM, and like, I'm not gonna go look that up.
Yeah, it's ARM64. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think we should. Like people, I've noticed that people don't even know what architecture is, and that's why we added unknown option to the list because people don't know.
Yeah, I think adding, I would
Let me
agree to
see.
keep the list simpler than.
Yeah, don't know because people
Hmm.
don't know. Serverless is a fixed one. New stable features, newly stable features. This one we fixed. I'll keep it. Add more specific explanation about features, loader hooks, blah blah blah. Nope. I don't think we should do this. This makes it very much more complicated.
What if
Like
we just add
it's
links to them? And then people, if they want, they can go investigate what it is. So it's like, here's extra information if you want it.
uh yeah, but that would take a lot of time to do that. So unless you like someone volunteers to do that,
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah, they
Okay,
might
I
not
think
make
fair,
it
that's
back to the
fair.
survey and finish it if they do
fair,
that.
fair, fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blah blah blah. Okay, I think on this list we went through everything.
Okay.
Cool.
So to add, are you using these deprecated or legacy features? This was the most
Yes.
upvoted. We should probably add this one.
I guess how do we
Definitely do.
generate that list?
We have to go through. Yeah, this one, but it's quite a long
Okay.
list. Yeah, it has 191 elements.
Yeah. We're gonna add a thing with 191 choices.
No,
No, and
Right.
debating.
Yeah.
not an open question.
Maybe the important ones, like the ones that we want to do something about.
Right.
Such as
Um, none come top of mind. Uh, have we recently deprecated anything?
you using any of the following deprecated
I think we could basically do like maybe an app mention to the collaborators and say like, if you think there's deprecated or legacy features that we should ask this question for, we can't ask them all. If you think
Yeah.
there are ones you think are important, PR them in.
Yeah.
Right. And if people then are like, yeah, I have in mind, I'd really like us to remove that, gives people the option, but hopefully that, and if there's none, well, there's none, right? Like it comes back to, it would take a huge amount of effort for somebody to volunteer to go and like actually try and herd everybody together and figure that out. But so the lightest touch is we give people the option to put in their favorite ones and then leave it at that.
So
So is the
honestly,
purpose
I think we should not do this for this year and come back to it next year.
okay? Like
I think
is
Because
that's
the
fair too.
yeah, no, go ahead, Jacob.
I was gonna say, is the purpose of asking this question to figure out whether we can remove something?
I think that might be part of the motivation. Yes.
Yeah. So next year we work on a list and we present the list at the Collab Summit and people say, please add this thing or no, add this other thing. And that's how we do it. Otherwise it's chaos. And like, I think this bored is what prevents the chaos from happening. If we go back to
Yes.
asking everybody their opinion, we really
Yeah, no,
lose
that
it.
sounds like a great approach to say, like, this
Yeah.
is the way we're going to handle that.
Yep. Okay. Demographics. What is your native language spoken? And then a list of language. I think we already agreed to have this one in the past. So let's just do like what is your native language? Add list of languages.
Do we want native language or primary language?
I don't know, primary maybe?
Yeah,
primary like spoken language.
Yeah.
Or
Primary
maybe
language.
we could do it as like, what language are you most comfortable with?
Well, that's what a
Which I
primary
think
language is.
it's primary language. The same thing.
Yeah, okay.
What time is it? Okay, we have 10 minutes left. I think we are on time. I think it's worth asking if people use other JS server-side engines. I disagree. Like, why do we care?
Yeah, I wouldn't list them. If we wanted to put a question in, we could just, but yeah, I'm not. I don't know. It's interesting in like, so we could say, if other people, do you use any other maybe it's like, do you use any other JS server-side engines, and just leave it at that?
But that would be an open question.
Yeah. So Jacob, you're on mute.
I said it could be a yes, no, or it could be an open question. But it's like what
I think this would be easily solved by adding runtime interoperability in the technical priorities, and if people care about, because at the end of the day, we only care if people use stuff among with other runtimes, so they care about interoperability. And the solution would be to ask them if they care about runtime operability rather than what if like 20% of users use bun. Okay, cool, I guess. But if we know that people like run their the JavaScript code like with multiple runtimes, then like interoperability becomes something important.
Yeah, I think we care more about the why than the fact that they are doing it.
Yeah.
There is that, yeah, like, and that's almost quite a different question. Is like, do you write your JavaScript code to run on runtime, other server-side runtimes in addition to Node? Now that I suspect will get a much higher answer than, do you use these other things?
Yeah.
Yeah. Should we add this one? Do we want to add this one?
Yes. And does it need to be limited to server? Because we could have like, for instance, if someone is writing utilities that are meant to be like universal, we care about that.
That's quite a different question though, right? Because like,
is it?
I want to write my code so it'll run in the browser versus whether it'll run on another.
Do you?
But those are just different runtimes. That's possibly what people really care about is, I want my code to just run everywhere.
But I think one would say certain APIs need to be want to be interoperable. Like, those are the web APIs, right? And then the other one is, like the Node APIs, would they like those to be interoperable across the?
You mean like FS?
Yeah. That's what I think the people, when they talk about interoperability server side, that's what they mean, is like the non-web APIs or non-JavaScript standard things. The only thing I wonder is like, who's going to say no? Like, I want to write my code so that it only runs on Node, and
Well, no, I mean, like, some people might just not care.
Right.
But
yeah.
for some people, it might be like something that they are actively concerned about.
Yeah.
So like, I think there's two categories of things. There's like a server-side runtime where there's only a subset of things that matter, and then there's like the universal where I don't know, this is a math library or something,
Yeah.
and it could run anywhere.
So do you run your code in other runtime? I don't know. Help me phrase this question if you want to add it.
Yeah,
Well,
like
maybe
that.
what
That's
other
a different.
runtimes?
This is the. Do you run it on other runtimes? Then the separate question would be the. Do you write your code so it can run on?
Oh, do you write your code to run?
And do we want this to be a yes, no, or do we want it to be a multiple choice,
I
multi-select?
think yes, no.
And I would almost say, do you write and test your code
Yeah.
to run on other? Like that kind
Do
of
you
shows
actually check it?
to me, right? Like
Yeah.
there's one thing to say, well, okay, I'm gonna kind of like
Okay. Do you write and test your code to run on other runtimes? Is that correct?
I would say in addition to Node.js.
Yeah.
In addition.
Because if they only write it for the other ones, then like
Oh yeah.
doesn't matter so much to us, right?
Okay.
I'm not sure about the yes, no. I'm wondering if we should list like bun, deno, browser, or
If
Or
anything,
we
I could make it open and they could write if yes, which ones, right? Like
well, we
I
don't
think
want
we
open
should
questions.
add, yeah, we don't want, I think either we add like browser, other runtimes, or like, and we had example, Dino, Ban, Cloudflare, but we don't care the specific, like if you are like, if people are using more Ban or more Dino, like what we care is that people want code that writes, like it's interoperable.
true,
Hmm.
yeah. I think we could just leave it as a yes or no.
Okay.
And if we get a
Okay.
ton of yes, it's like, yeah, okay, then that, people are writing and testing their code with other things. But
Okay.
did we say maybe we needed to add server runtimes though, server side?
Uh, other server side
Yeah.
runtimes.
Because otherwise, like I think people would say, like, yeah, I want it to run in the
Browsers.
browser. So
Okay,
okay.
I think include which not versions. Don't think so because this will be updated pretty quickly. Package registry, we add a bunch of other things. Test runner. This is too specific. I think like the ones that I think it's interesting, which like follow-up question, which one was your favorite experimental feature and which one experimental feature did you find the most challenging, problematic, or glitchy? This one would be interesting to add.
Sure.
And then
On the one about the test one, is that listed in our new features somewhere or?
yeah, but there is not a way to get specific feedback like with the test run. Yeah.
Right. So
But
they could choose. So that one we should be able to tell if a bunch of people say no, they're using it or not, right?
yeah, exactly. So how many? So I think we should probably consider this one. And I don't know if we want to ask DEA. I think the foundation will add that. They did last year, so I think they will add
Sure.
it this year too.
Sure.
And then these ones about this one we talked in person and we decided to leave it as it is with the 15 plus years, and this is information is useless. The one like the ones that we talked about, like the question 3, which was
Yeah.
this one, healthcare. I think it provides an insight, so we should leave it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think next step, I think we should also, let me leave the comments. Please help me to review the changes, suggest more changes, etc. During next week. I will this week / next week I will like get all the feedback and have a final version, and probably next week we can send it to Kylie. That's all right.
Sounds perfect. Thanks for all your work on this.
Great. Thanks.
Mhm.
And we'll say goodbye because we're right at time. And,
Yep.
Perfect.
talk to everybody next time. Bye.